is where we would be finding those other payables that have resulted from previous financial year. The template is actually there, but there is 0,000,000.
Chair and honorable members, most of these areas that we are reporting in 2024-25 were as a result of the merger, and we actually acquired them in the financial year 2024-25 from former UNRA and URF. So they are payables.
But we acquired them as having been outstanding over a number of years. And because of that, they were added together. Those are the ones in your adjustments. They were added together with what you had. Okay? Having paid off some, the outstanding would be recognized as non-current liability. This is not. This is just to help you actually.
Actually, Chair,
to push your point when you are budgeting. That you see, we even have those people who supplied, who have been demanding over years. But if you portray them as actually the people you have failed to pay only in 1 year, finance will say, okay, let us just give you this. But if you have suppliers who have been there over 3 years, it makes your point when you are really budgeting for the clearance of the domestic areas. I don't know whether you are getting my point.
Thank you, Chair. I take note. Going forward, we are going to make the detailed analysis, but what we intended here is that for us, we looked at the year when actually these areas were transferred to Ministry of Works, which was as financial. But we are going to analyze. We are going to analyze further.
Only that we acquired them when they were already outstanding. That is the principle.
I agree with you, Honorable Member. Thank you.
Robert Choma, you know, because now when you inherit assets and liabilities, and as they age, those liabilities can cause you trouble. Some people are likely to run to court. Even if you got them from ONRA or whatever, the aging can affect you. So what we are talking about is just to keep your eyes on, so that you know the priorities when you are clearing the debts, the liabilities. Which one do you start with? So for us, it's just for the good.
Chair, we proceed.
But just that.
Honorable colleagues, we take note of this. However, I've requested the auditor to give us the details of these arrears, because for those that have as old as more than 3 years, we need to find out if there are contracts, which are these details. We need to have these people paid. So the auditor.
Chair, before you leave that, from the accounts, it is indicated that those areas that were outstanding for 3 years and above have been paid. Because what is indicated and what my colleague was trying to bring out is that what is outstanding in the previous years, not the last year, is only 57 billion. Now the rest of 590 something was incurred in the last, that's why they call it current liabilities, or in the last year, which adds together to get 649.
Okay, Honorable, that is noted. Let's get the detail. Our interest is to have these people paid. People borrowed their money. We are suffocating the private sector. So we need to have this paid. We are going to have the details from the auditor, and we see how best we can liaise with finance to have these ones cleared. 2.3 is inadequate budget for provision of arrears for the PAPs. The areas comprised of UGX 600 billion transferred from the former UNRA. Whether transferred from UNRA or where, this is a requirement. This is money, taxpayers' money. So we need to see PS. It is 1.3, sorry, not 2.3, 1.3 on areas still. So please take note as we yes, Honorable, somebody had something to say?
Chair.
Was SGR under UNRWA?
Not so. SGR is a project.
SGR is a project, but when you see what is reported here about because the query is inadequate provision for settlement of arrears, domestic arrears, Madam Chair. And one of the reasons they say it is most of the areas reported were in respect to PAPS compensation. I wanted to ask the PS whether the PAPS compensation have been audited before as a specific audit, because I have been here since 2016 and it was a very big song in 2018, 17, 18, 19, SGR PAPS compensation, and now it has resurrected. It died somewhere because of COVID, now it has resurrected. Has there been any audit on who was compensated, who has not been compensated? And can we share that information? Can you share that information?
Chair, these areas are audited by the Auditor General for them to be called domestic areas. Recently, we had the KPMG to undertake this audit.
We shall just get a list of those PAPs, because you also mentioned that this one affects the rate of implementation of the roadworks. It is in everyone's interest to ensure that the PAPs are paid.
Yes, Madam.
Speak to this matter of... yes, Honorable.
This is where I get confused, and that's part of the reason why I was asking. You hear this statement. The arrears comprised of the 600 billion transferred from UNRWA and 236 from road fund and 193 relating to obligations under the ministry. Now, when you hear all that money, 600, 236, 193, and when you come here on payables, am I confusing it? I'm seeing the money 3 years and above is way little compared to this. Honorable Chom.
Yes, Honorable Nsamba. The fact is, despite all those monies from UNRWA, URF, and what had been given to the ministry, okay, despite all those monies, still the payables, the domestic areas were much, much higher than the available funds. And actually, when the UNRWA came, although it came with those monies, it also came with arrears, domestic arrears. And my friend, the doctor engineer, when he came, he brought both the funds but also arrears. So still 57 billion remained outstanding despite paying all those. But we appreciate at least there was that reduction, although those people 57, their properties are being sold to pay the loans. That is our concern. Yes.
Chair, I wanted to get a clarity from the accountant, Emily. If when you rationalized UNRWA and Uganda Road Fund, did you amalgamate their budgets together with the Ministry of Works? Such that when we look at the money budgeted or appropriated for domestic areas of 10 billion, did it include what area UNRWA had budgeted and what the Uganda Road Fund had
that's
budgeted?
where the confusion comes from.
So that we understand that together, you as Works, UNRWA and Uganda Road Fund, this is what they had budgeted, that
The
they
budget,
came with.
the entire budget for
And then we also took
domestic
an
areas.
amalgamation of the domestic areas, that area were incurred by UNRA or Uganda Road Fund. We need that clarity because that one would help us know that the accounts are added together and therefore the obligation, including what has been appropriated, is for the same purpose.
Okay.
As she responds, Madam Chair, you must not forget about the debtors. Because yes, they brought you a burden of payables, but they also those maybe they were demanding. So those assets, whatever that you needed to receive, maybe there's even an account that they gave you, a transfer, a fat figure from UNRWA to the ministry. Talk
Okay,
about it so that we balance.
Thank you, Chair. Through the PS, yes, after the merger of former UNRWA and the Uganda Road Fund, we received a supplementary budget in respect to the unspent and the unreleased balance under the two votes to a tune of 1.679 trillion. And part of this money is what we use to pay the arrears that we are transferred to Ministry of Works. That is where we paid 600.6 billion, and we paid off 239 million under road fund.
Then the 242, because there's a concern, 242 for PAPs.
The 242 billion is in respect to the payables, the arrears that were outstanding under Ministry of Works and Transport as at end of June 2024. And out of which we paid off some PAPs under standard gauge railway, and the figure reduced.
So what is our plan for the balance? Because we want to see the standard gauge railway on road, by the way.
Honorable colleagues, let's proceed. Hope we're going to have the details of these, the details of the list of the beneficiaries from these areas, so that we can see how to help each other. The beauty with this is the PSST made a commitment that they are going to make a commitment for a reasonable figure to be allocated on domestic areas, because this cuts across board. Honorable colleagues, we are going to go to 1.4 about the SGS. The ministry took over this responsibility of managing most of these assets that were under SGS, but the auditor noted that in November 2025, the ministry had not completed registration of the assets acquired, and except for motor vehicles whose ownership had been transferred. So upon taking responsibility of the SSG, why didn't you transfer, SGS, why didn't you transfer these assets? And the sites include Namanve, Nabingo, Namulanda, Kawanda, Mbale, Gulu, and Mbara. These were handed over, but most of the properties were not transferred. And when do you intend to take possession? Because, for example, some of these buildings have been there for quite some time.
Chair, we have taken over the assets and equipment. We have managed to change the vehicles and others, but what is outstanding is the titling, the change of the titles. There is a financial implication for this, and we are going to budget for that money.
Madam Chair, I wanted to find out the issue of the use of the assets that you are taking over. What are we doing with them now?
Mr. Katishave, can you tell him what we are doing?
Thank you, Chair. Through the PS, the use, as we said when we took over, these assets spent like almost across to 7 years. So we've repaired, we are upgrading the system, and also coming up with a new software, because the software which SGS was using was a global one that we cannot control, and which again would be very expensive to continue paying for it. So we got a local person who is trying now to come up with a software that will make the entire system, both from Namamve and all other branches or inspection stations to read the same results. That's what we are doing. We are recruiting the staff. Some of the staff are already there training, but also, as I said, vehicles can still also now go and be inspected, but we are doing it in a phased manner. Thank you. Now, for the land, like the PS said, the process is on, and the requests were made to Uganda Land Commission so that we can have this concluded. The rest of the equipment are already in possession of Ministry of Works and Transport.
Yes, Honorable
Yes,
Samba.
Small clarification. You have suggested that there is a new person you've contracted to provide that service?
The government is in charge. The people who are working or taking now or giving a service are Ugandans, giving from Ministry of Works, and of course some for contract staff. The person who is just working, it is just a software, to read the information.
Because there was a reason why that it was only a body contract that you had given to
SGS.
SGS.
Yes.
But by the time you took on that contract, the service was required by the people of Uganda.
Yes.
For reasons that you know best.
I don't know.
You didn't know?
You are saying you know best, but the reasons, which reasons?
You're our representative, sir, in knowing what we require in that sector.
Yes.
So I know you know why we needed that inspection service.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying you're best you're more knowledgeable in why we needed that service. So having terminated the other contract, did the ministry save the service? Are we getting the service?
But Madam Chair, through the PS, I've explained this. First of all, the service is available. Number two, one of the reasons why Parliament actually came in was the prohibitive fees, which we reduced almost by, yes. For example, borders now, inspection is about 5,500. So because government took over, the issue was not only looking at the fees, much as that could be non-tax revenue. The issue was safety of vehicles, because if you look at how much Uganda is losing annually, is close to the amount of money that is allocated to this sector, close to 3 to 4 trillion, which is equivalent to about 3 to 4% of our national GDP. So, yes, the service is there, and I think the benefit will be more, because now Ugandans can easily go to this inspection center and take your vehicle and get inspected at an affordable rate, but also get value for money, because if this vehicle is inspected and repaired, maybe you are prescribed what is wrong, and you take the vehicle and is repaired, then the vehicle lives longer.
Thank you. Let's proceed. Honorable colleagues, we take note of your contribution to the parish development model. But you can brief us, what do you do in the parish development model? And score yourself.
Parish development model, we are in charge of Pillar 2. That is infrastructure, the ICT, and others. So we have come up with a manual for implementing it. We have put a committee which is overseeing its activities. And if we are to score ourselves, our performance is 90% plus.
Then you don't need the blank check, because if you are doing very well, 99%, I mean, you should be realistic, PS. So we take note of your participation in the parish development model, though we want to bring to your attention that you are doing badly in line of infrastructure. Roads are still bad. They can't facilitate free movement of goods and services. As simple as that. So, honorable colleagues, we note the delays in procurement. However, I request that we go direct to the utilization of GOU warrants. That is page 21 of the Auditor General's report, but that is item 3.3. Item 3.3. Utilization of warrants. Out of the warrants of 4 trillion received during the financial year, you were able to spend 2, and the performance was at 56%. PS, you have been complaining about inadequate funding, but here you are. You can't even utilize the budget that you are given. That is 3.3, utilization of warrants. We need to know what hindered you, give the reasons as to why you could not consume the 2.385 trillion of your budget.
Madam, let me ask Head of Accounts to take us through our response.
Thank you.
Hello, let's proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Permanent Secretary, the unspent funds were in respect to the donor-funded components, where we have the GOU, Government of Uganda, co-funding with the donors, but because the GOU component, budget component was suppressed, for example, the GOU component mainly is under PAPS compensation, but the funding was inadequate, so it also led to non-performance under the donor funding component. That is the biggest percentage of the unspent balances.
So you want to mean that the whole 2.385 was donor funding? We're going to have the details of the activities here. PS, when you go under, the auditor continues to indicate, we want to thank you for the 3 outputs worth 16 billion that was implemented fully, but to also express our dissatisfaction for the 25 outputs worth the 2.104 trillion partially implemented items. Then you have 2 outputs that were not implemented. Then you have 7 outputs that were not assessed due to lack of performance targets. When you look at this, this is the gist of the audit. PS, you cannot absorb your money. Most of your activities follow under partial implementation. And this has a serious implication on service delivery and in execution of your mandate as a Ministry of Works. Honorable members, we unfortunately, go to appendix. This is appendix 9. Appendix 9 shows the details. It's a summary of those activities, details of those activities that delayed, those that were fully implemented, and those that were not implemented. Auditor, did we attach Annex 9?
These are the reports, not the...
As we look for that, Auditor, please look for it. You know, PS, this is the gist of the audit. This is the real expenditure. We need to know which activities were not implemented and why. So we are going to skip this till when the auditors give us details of these items. PS, I want to update you that according to the report on the consolidated financial statements for the year under review, most of the activities, 80%, are under partial implementation, meaning there is a low utilization capacity when it comes to all government agencies across board. And this is a disservice to our people. We receive the money, interest is paid, but we cannot what? We cannot execute or implement fully these activities. Honorable colleagues, let's wait for the details from the auditors. 3.34, environment / reallocation of funds. They sought for permission for the environment, and we can't do much on that. Then, yes, Honorable Samba.
Chair, we are leaving the gist of the audit.
No, they are looking for the details. We don't, the appendix is not attached.
PS could be saying something as they look for those details, Madam Chair.
He has told you most of these funds were under donor. So the only thing we can do to convince ourselves is to have the details of these projects. So auditor, link up with our secretariat to provide the details of the list of these projects. Otherwise, we cannot proceed without this. Hope we are moving together. Monitoring and evaluation. Honorable colleagues, we have noted that across all ministries, departments, and agencies, there is a challenge of monitoring and evaluation, but PS, you can speak for your ministry.
Madam, we are doing fairly well, although we have challenges. We have strengthened the monitoring and evaluation function. We now upgraded it from a division to a department headed by a commissioner, and the staffing levels have also improved.
But the auditor notes that you did not have an annual ME framework. Hope now we have one. What steps have you taken? Do we have a framework?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
Please give us evidence of the framework that you do have.
Prepared.
There are no M&E reports prepared. There is no framework.
So everything was lacking.
Let me ask my commissioner monitoring and evaluation.
Commissioner monitoring and evaluation, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through my permanent secretary, my name once again is Nikuriayo Richard, Commissioner, Statistics, Monitoring and Evaluation. Like my permanent secretary has already alluded, we upgraded our division to a department of statistics, monitoring and evaluation. And we appreciate the concerns of the Auditor General, and after getting them.
Sir, as you appreciate, speak straight to the issues. Number one, why don't you have a plan? Why don't you have reports? As simple as that.
Honorable Chair, we have the plan. I have a copy. We shall submit it to.
How come the auditor did not see that?
We have the plan. The monitoring and evaluation plan is here with
the
me.
question is, why didn't the auditor see that plan the time he came to the entity?
I don't know. It was an oversight. We shall give it to.
Mr. P.S., these are small issues we should avoid, because M&E for the Ministry of Works has a big implication. These are small things, because you want also to bring the ME report to Parliament. Then if you cannot produce an ME report, how can you do bills of quantities?
Small thing.
This is no, it is small, but it has an impact.
Yes. Actually, the whole operations.
The operations of yes to move around this.
It is ME that is there to answer to the challenges of project appraisals and so on that we are facing now. Because from initiation of every project, M&E sets its what? Sets its concerns. So in fact, it is M&E that is the young child now that is going to support us, see how projects are running from inception up to conclusion. We have every box to tick. So
PS, take
It's
note.
unfortunate you didn't submit.
Take note.
Maybe you can submit a copy.
It's
for us to
unfortunate that
evaluate
you
and
have a
look at.
commissioner who cannot do the basics. I'm telling you, it's unfortunate because an ME plan for the whole Ministry of Works, without a plan, a ME. How many staff do we have under your unit or department, whichever you call it?
We have 5. We have 5 staff.
So what have you been doing for the rest of the years you've been there?
Madam Chair, we have actually been producing the MRD reports, only that they were not exactly in the format that the Auditor General required.
No, PS, no, let's not waste a lot of time. This is very simple. Before we leave this place, bring your reports, bring your plan, so that we can verify them. Okay. Because, I mean, fully fledged, 5 people cannot produce a report. What are they there for? So before we leave this place, sir, please submit those.
Okay.
Let us proceed, honorable colleagues, to delay in implementation of activities, PS. This is 3.5, delay in implementation of activities. Out of the sampled projects, 9 projects worth 139 billion and euro 347. These had delays averaging from 1 year from the expected completion time. PS, we are going to look through a few of these projects. For example, design and build. This is Kayunga. This is Nabuganyi Road. This is 20.2 kilometers, and Nansana, Kirekabira, 4.8 roads in Kayunga and Wachiso district. The project was expected to be completed on 1st March 2020. However, the project has delayed by 5 years. At the time of inspection in November 2025, the project had been substantially completed. What was the cause of the delay? 5-year delay of a project. And what are the consequences for if projects delay?
These 2 roads were being done using a new technology, which is like a low-cost sealing. The technology is from Malaysia, known as ProBase. Initially, the supply of the items was not familiar with our environment, so we had to get a local contractor to work with him. But that Kayunga Nabugai Road, literally they know that much of it was a swamp. So they had to do a lot of backfilling. And then, of course, there was also a problem of flow of funds. We are not paying them on time, so their cash flows was affected. But fortunately, we eventually managed to finish this road, and it is complete.
Honorable colleagues, PS, what are the consequences of having such delays?
Of course, such delays can lead to cost overruns. Sometimes some contractors can charge money for idle equipment. The consequences are not good, but it was inevitable, mainly because of the terrain and then the poor cash flow to the contractor.
Then upgrading of Kafunda Buampa Road, linking industrial park from gravel to bitumen materials to bitumen standard. This is Buyukwe. Is this now complete, 29 billion?
It is substantially completed.
So, honorable colleagues, we take note. Yes?
Specifically, I would like the PS to comment about the airport, the Kabale International Airport in Hoima.
Item 6.
Specifically, and the current status.
But also suffered some delays because of funding availability, but we have substantially done the work. The total percentage of work is at 97%. They are now doing the last touches of fittings, electricals, also to put the tower. So by April, this airport will be ready.
Madam Chair, the commitment was this month.
Yeah, but what is remaining is really a few fittings and then testing what they have fitted. You know, what to do with aviation, everything must be done with maximum care.
Then what of this Maya, the item 3, civil works for the upgrading of 3.41 kilometers leading from to Maya, natural result, to where? To Chengera Town Council. Is it complete now?
It is done, madam.
It is done.
Yeah.
So, honorable
Chair.
colleagues, yes, honorable Taiwa.
Chair, maybe as we take note, I think the accounting officer should also take note that when we look at the statement of appropriation and the statement of the cash flows, monies were received and spent, but works were not complete. So what happened to the monies that were meant to complete these partially implemented activities?
Madam, like I said, when there is a delay, there tends to be cost overruns. That could be the main reason.
PS, we proceed to 3.5 to unsatisfactory quality of works. This is for low cost ceiling of, what is this road? Kathy what? Kayanzi Road. This is in Kasese. The physical progress was at 63 against a time progress of 88, and the author noted that the quality noted some quality deficiencies as shown in these pictures. Can you give us details about this road in Kasese, where the auditor queries about the quality of the works?
Our explanation is that the project commenced on 21st February with the initial completion date of 3rd March 2024. The project duration was extended up to 30th 2025. The partially constructed drainage system and the installed culverts without head wall finishes together with open and
Yes,
shaped
that
road.
microphone, you are not audible enough.
Shaped road with overgrown vegetation were attributed to a temporary stoppage of works due to delays in payment that affected the contractor's cash flow.
So the reason for the delay was payment?
Yeah, payment.
But when you look at the advice of the auditor to you is to strengthen bidder evaluation to ensure that you get more competent contractors, is to strengthen contract management by appointing contract managers. So this means this was somehow beyond the issue of funds. So let's not respond for the sake of, as if we are in defensive. Let's not be defensive, let's face the reality. Because these delays are a cost either way.
Madam, we have taken note of these recommendations. For example, we have really strengthened the supervisory role of our engineers on these projects, and it has improved performance.
Honorable colleagues, anything on that?
What exactly have you done? Because when you say you have strengthened, that's a statement. Is it, have you developed some manual for guidance on implementation? Or the capacity building?
Chair, when we award a contract, we immediately appoint a contract management team. And that is the team which will oversee the work. Then, of course, the management team is also supervised by a principal officer, whom they report to, and then the head of department. And we have even political leadership. They also inspect the projects.
PS, we take note of your responses, but just also convince yourself that there is a lot of homework. It's a matter of continuous improvement. Let's look at some of these challenges and we see how we can do better.
Madam, we are on that path of
a ministry that has commissioners should not perform like the local governments that just have principles.
Madam, you can see them.
Yeah. And the fact that you have been beefed with UNRWA, URF, we hope to work better. When it comes to 3.5 to functionality of the facilities, Table 16, functionality of inspected works. This road, the one that you have rehabilitation of Gavu, Kasawo, Kasiso Road, this is in Mkono district. The auditor says the road works were completed in November 2024. However, inspections done in 2025 indicate severe silting of the drainages and culverts, and several potholes in various parts of the road. You complete a road in 2024, 2025, the road has potholes.
Yeah,
1 year.
The problems when we hand over these roads, this is a district road. You hand it over to a district who cannot sustain the maintenance. Like desilting. Desilting is mainly because of inclement weather. We are getting excessive rains. Somebody should be able, after rain, to go and desilt the road so that the drainages are running. So that was a problem mainly attributed to the ones we handed over this road to.
But, Madam Chair, there are potholes on the same road. So that means, PS, that road was for a period, lifespan of 1 year.
So you want to mean that local governments have no capacity to maintain these roads? But even if it was maintenance, 1 year the road has potholes?
I was asking, such a road is given, there's what you call default period, am I right?
The defects liability period?
The period, do they given that time?
The defects of 6 months?
6 months, so short, I think.
No, but even if it was a defect of 6 months, a pothole in a road that is less than 1 year, that speaks to the quality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that there's always a period is given.
Madam, this is a gravel road, and this is why we want to run away from graveling. When you do that road, you compact it very well. When it is dry, the wind blows it. When there is rain, it is damaged. And we are getting a problem because even where we get this gravel is getting finished. That's why we are looking for money so that we scale up low-cost sales and the tarmacking of the road.
Chair,
Chair, that's why we raise the issue of maintenance.
Madam Chair,
You can make a road, invest a lot of
Chair,
funds.
there is a problem with this side. The border community here is really, we are not following very well because there is a disruption coming from
and
this side.
we allocated those gates the whole parking lot. I don't know why again they have called up to disrupt activity.
Madam Chair, I think you can instruct a close off before we continue. Otherwise, there's a lot of distraction.
What happened to that?
And you know they are women. Eh?
You mad. It's Women's Day. Yeah, but it's still, the PS, what I was saying, you invest so much in a road, and it is cuts across, not only the road, but even the buildings. So the maintenance is a question that must be looked at critically.
Let's stretch for a few minutes as we handle this issue with our colleagues. Team, we have some tea the other side. We shall also have lunch at Serena, provided you have a budget line for it. Please. So
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.